Hey guys, can you all hear me? I hope this microphone's working a little better. The upload from today, I selected a different feature for it. I think maybe it's time to get a new amp anyways. But yeah, so if you watched today's video, which I hope you did, you can only hear me on your left speaker or your left headphone, so it's a little bit annoying and it makes my voice sound like kind of flat. And I was listening to it back and I'm like, why does it sound so weird? It just sounds so flat. Anyways, how are you all doing? Can everyone hear me? Is it too loud? Is it too sensitive? What's going on? How's everyone's day doing today? Did you just finish school? Did you just finish work? Are you on a lunch break? What is going on? Where is everyone from? Back in another live stream, and I missed you guys. I can't wait to get on with this video. So today's video is going to be the first of, I don't know if it's a new series or not, but it's definitely going to be the first of a new type of video where in last week's live stream I asked you guys if you want me to do basically live streams regarding different potential Star Wars movies that we could get, and we can all kind of just like open a dialogue about it and just talk about the different things that we would want to see from these films. I mean, I don't know if Disney's watching these or if they, take any analytics from them or not, but these are definitely some fun videos that I think, we should talk about and we can go through. So obviously we're going to be going through today's video, which if you haven't read the title already, I'm wondering why. Darth Maul, A Star Wars Story. This is a movie that I really want to see, and of course we're going to be covering, in later episodes during the week or next week or whatever it is, Yoda, Obi-Wan, an Obi-Wan movie, a Darth Vader movie, everything. An Anakin movie where we cover him, from episode 1 to 2 and all the things he did in between there. So I'm thinking today's video we should just talk about Maul and all the things that we could get going forwards with that. So some people want me to slow the chat down. I can do that right now. Just give me 2 seconds. What do you guys want? Slow it down to, I'd say, what, 45 seconds per person? Sure. There we go. That should be better, right? Is that better? Is it good? There we go. Okay. When someone says, when is the Darth movie coming out? The fan film, you mean? Well, we've I can't reveal anything as of yet, but we've run into some we've run into some issues. So waiting to get those, cleared up, and hopefully it'll all go well, but I'm very determined to bring that to you and make it happen. So more about that later. Someone says I live in California, Los Angeles. Oh, cool. Shout out to Cali. Hello from the Netherlands. Someone says looking good. Someone says that's nice. Waiting for your Vader fan series. I want to support it in audition for it. Today was supposed to be the launch for the audition. However, I'm holding that back until we hear from an email, which will clarify some things for us. So. Some people saying the spam. Yeah, I slowed it down, so hopefully that'll be better for you guys in the chat. Okay, so a Maul movie. What do you guys want to see in a Maul movie? Let's talk about it. I'm thinking, we could start off with 2 different scenarios here. We could have Darth Maul from, when he was born as a little boy, and then, have Sidious find him on Dathomir, and then, we meet the Night Sisters and all that, and then we go through Maul's training with Sidious, which is something I think hasn't been tapped into, obviously, in the movies. They've done it in the Legends comics, but not so much in the new comics, really. So, Sidious finding Maul. He reaches out to him with the Force. Let's say he finds him, and then he goes to him, kind of abducts him almost, and starts training him as this little boy, this little Zabrak, which is the species that Darth Maul is. This little Zabrak boy, and from there, we would basically go into Maul's training. So how does he become this vicious, dark Sith that we all know and love him to be? How does he turn into this guy here? That's something that I think would be pretty awesome to see on screen. Now, as for him getting his tattoos, I know in Legends, he put his tattoos on himself, and then, in other episodes, in other comics, he actually was always born with his tattoos. But I'm guessing, we'll see what happens with Disney here, what they're going to do with that. That would be a pretty cool part. I always thought that was really sweet, having, him put on those Sith tattoos himself. It was always a very dark side to Maul that I wanted to see on film. If you guys don't know, this is the Star Wars 77. He's got a cool Instagram page. I love his edits. They're really sweet. They just kind of They're like my fan fiction sort of, but you see, like, you have him here fighting Vader, you have him here fighting Anakin, which would be sweet. In the Legends comics, Maul actually fought Vader. So, but it was just his, like, it was like his ghost almost. It was like his he was brought back by these, I forgot what they were called. They were like these dark figures, and basically brought an apparition of him to Vader, and then Vader ended up defeating him, of course, and then he just kind of vanished. But that was also a really sweet comic. I think I want to maybe cover that one. I know the Lore Master covered that a long time ago, and he did a really good job of it. But yeah. Someone says Ventress should make an appearance. Yes, I agree. That would be cool. The Jacob Redmond. I think Ventress would be really sweet. We could see her. You know, that's the thing with a Maul movie, is that we could see something like Maul return. We could see Obi-Wan in it. We could see Dooku, Sidious, of course, Palpatine. We could see, depending what timeline, we could see, young Anakin and old Anakin, maybe what they're doing now. If you haven't kept up with Ray Park's Instagram, you see him training a lot. So you know that he's definitely making a comeback for something. We just obviously can't be told what just yet. There's another image here which is really sweet. I'm trying to find it. This is a cool image of Luke. Did you guys all watch today's video yet? I know I just uploaded it, and the mic quality on it is a little bit unfortunate, but that's what you get when you make a mistake, I guess. You click the wrong button. Maybe it's time for a new amp anyways. So it like did this like sparking thing the other day, so I'm thinking maybe it's time to get a better upgrade. Someone says they should have more versus Darth Vader. Yes, I agree. We need a lot more versus in Darth Vader movies. We need a lot more of this. This is something that we need to see for sure. Elizabeth Lynn says, my first live vid. I love you. I agree with your last live video about what Disney needs to do. I was doing cardio, watching, and agreeing 100% on the bike. Oh, that's good. See, productivity at its finest. Thanks for your super chat, Elizabeth. And Johan, I don't want to butcher that last name. Gusht. Oh, man. Thanks for your super chat, man. You didn't ask a question. So, yeah, we do need to see a Vader like this. So I'm thinking, type yes if you want to see a Maul movie, a standalone film, solo film about Maul, spin-off film, before The Phantom Menace, so leading up to it. Or would you rather type no if you want to see Maul after The Phantom Menace, or even, after Revenge of the Sith, which is kind of what we're getting now. I kind of really want to see Maul before The Phantom Menace so we can see his uprise into the Sith, how he learns to use the Force, and basically how he meets Palpatine. I think that would be so freaking cool. I think that would be really, really interesting, because we haven't really seen Palpatine as Palpatine, before he revealed himself to the Sith. We've just seen him as, the political figure. But to see him as this, like, almost cross between, Palpatine, the political figure, and Palpatine, the dude who's, like, the most powerful Sith Lord in disguise in the galaxy, would be really something cool that Disney could make, and I really want them to make that. I really want them to, use all their resources and their money and their talents on making something that's very special towards showing Palpatine's character. I think that would be very, very fun. You guys remember this video? I used this thumbnail for a video I made, I think about a month ago now. It was about Mace Windu's Vapod power. If you haven't seen that one, you can check it out. So yeah, this is the video today from with the unfortunate audio, but yeah, I'll get that fixed for you guys, no problem. If you haven't seen Darth Maul Apprentice, the fan film, it is so good. It is so unbelievably good. They did such a good job with this, and I'm like, it's. I wish I could tell you guys more about what's going on behind the scenes with my Vader fan film, but I'm gonna reveal that in the next few days. Hopefully, once I get that email back from from someone very important. So, Ryan Sullivan asks with his super chat, "Hey, Star Wars Theory, do you think Savage will be in Maul? That would be so cool. I mean, I could not see him not being in there. Like, it just doesn't really make sense. You'd have to have Palpatine. You would have to have Savage. You'd have to have all basically those characters that are in Maul's timeline. Otherwise, it would be weird. Palpatine movie with Tom Hiddleston as young Sheev. Yes, I am on board with that. Hi. Someone says, hi, please, the Darth Maul in Solo. Yes, that would be very cool. Well, that was very cool, but I wish we got to see more of him. They keep teasing us, you know what I mean? They keep teasing us with these little bits here and there with these cool characters that we all love. But, unfortunately, it's just, yeah. I want to see, like, a full standalone film, you know? If you guys haven't seen this, go check out Darth Maul Apprentice, a Star Wars fan film. It's got 16 million, almost 17 million views. They did a really great job at it, and yeah, it's pretty sweet. I'm surprised they didn't get like shut down or anything, which is great. Great. I love fan films. I think they should be promoted a lot more. If you think fan films should be allowed by Lucasfilm, comment yes. I think it'll just help them, if anything. It'll help Star Wars, because it just shows our love for the films and puts our own little spin on it. Who do you think should do the voice of Darth Maul? Well, Sam Witwer does the voice of Darth Maul. He's very good at it. And actually, he did the voice for Maul in, spoilers, turn away here if you haven't seen Solo. He did the voice of Darth Maul in Solo. So that wasn't actually Ray Park. So, yeah. Yeah, see, everyone's down with it. Everyone says yes. Someone says, did you watch the movie and did you see Darth Maul at the end? How do you feel about it? I think it's really cool. I think they're, bringing Maul back is a really smart thing to do, because finally this is another character besides Vader that we really want to see. This is someone that we love as a character. He's a very, very interesting character. He's not boring. He's got a lot of depth to him. And, yeah, this is another cool concept art. Vader versus Yoda. Looks like it's on Mustafar, and Palpatine's just like, go get him, Lord Vader. And he's like, yes, master. The dark side, I sense in you. And yeah, that'll be a sweet. You can't ever get these in real life, like obviously in the movies. I mean, so I think fan films are the only way to get around this and do this, or maybe like a CGI or something like that. Here's a cool picture of Anakin, basically, in the temple after he did what he did. And I think something that would have been interesting to see would have been Anakin in the temple himself, when he was defeating Master Syndralig and all those Jedi Masters and the younglings. We didn't have to see the younglings. It's a little dark, but still, nevertheless. Someone says, is Star Trek better than Star Wars? Well, it's up to you to decide. Someone says, good job on the voices, bro. Funny story about the voices, that I used to annoy my parents, like, every day when I was a kid. I used to do the voices all the time. And I would just, like, answer them in all these different voices of, like, Palpatine and, like, Vader, and I would just talk to myself like that. Super chat from Rodrigo Lam. I hope I'm saying it right. Don't you think that EA put Star Wars Battlefront 2 in a bad situation? Sorry for my English mistakes. There were no English mistakes there, man. Great English. Do you think EA put Star Wars Battlefront 2 in a in a bad situation? I think it's a great game. I love the game. I thought it was really well done, really well made. I think the fan backlash towards them doing the loot crate thing was what destroyed it. So at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter how great a game is. It kind of just matters if they like you or not. So I could have like great videos, but if you guys hate me, then you guys aren't going to watch really, or you just at least won't really support it. And that's kind of the whole point, I think, is to be appreciated, be liked. And if you're not liked for what you do, you obviously did something wrong and you got to make up for it. So Ryan Sullivan says, hey, what's your ideal fight and between who? My ideal fight? I would love to see this fight. Anakin versus Maul. That would be so cool. Like Anakin, end of Revenge of the Sith, and then Maul. I would say he was more powerful in the Clone Wars, so I'd say like post Clone Wars, Maul versus Anakin, Revenge of the Sith. That would be really cool. Or Anakin versus Mace Windu. That, you know what? Anakin versus Mace Windu is probably a fight I would pay a lot to see. I would really like to see that. I think that would be something very interesting because you would have Anakin using the dark side. However, Anakin only gets stronger the more angry he gets, obviously, just like any Sith. But the thing with that is, with Mace Windu's Vaapad, the more angry an opponent gets, the more powerful he becomes. That said, I know that Anakin gets under Mace's skin, so would Mace end up, slipping and using the dark side himself? And if so, would that mean that his Vaapad would be counterproductive? So it's kind of like you got to think a lot about it. You got to think about the characters, their fighting styles. So Mace uses Form 7, Anakin uses Form 5. And so Anakin uses these power attacks and all that, and that's how he defeated Dooku. However, Mace is just like Darth Maul. They both use Form 7, however, Mace uses Vaapad. So, which is a variant of Form 7. It's very acrobatic, it's very powerful, it's very fast, it's very aggressive. You're always on the aggressive, on the offense. And that's something that I think would be maybe a little bit hard for Anakin, but at the same time, Anakin is extremely aggressive as a fighter. So them going against each other would be very interesting, I think. It'd be really cool. Obi-Wan Kenobi says, Cate Blanchett should play Mother Talzin. Yeah, that'd be cool, I guess. I could see that. I don't really care who plays, the more minor characters. However, as long as Ray Park reprises his role as Maul in a Maul standalone film, we could get Maul, of course, before the Phantom Menace, where he meets Sidious, or we could get Maul. We could get 3 Mauls: Maul before the Phantom Menace, Maul after the Phantom Menace, before Episode 3, where he goes insane and he has spider legs and all that stuff, or we could have Maul post Revenge of the Sith, post Episode 3, where we saw him, spoilers, in Solo. So there's different versions of Maul that we could get, and they're all very, very cool versions of Maul. The Maul before the Phantom Menace and kind of before he died was the very cocky, arrogant, cool, just won't go down without a fight kind of Maul. However, later on he's a little more more broken, kind of like Vader. But that also feeds into his power. Someone says, I'd love to see Ahsoka in a movie. And someone says, do you think there will ever be a Starkiller movie? I don't think we'll ever see Starkiller. However, he is so cool. He is one of my favorites for sure. Definitely, by far. They made such a cool character there when, Lucas was in charge. What is your favorite Starkiller moment? And if you haven't played Force Unleashed, let me know. Someone says Maul becomes a Jedi. Yeah, if you guys haven't seen my fan fiction about Maul becoming a Jedi, go check it out. But that's definitely... I feel like after his death from Obi-Wan, the final time, the second time in Rebels, I think after that he may have turned to the light. Because you could just tell he was like, the Chosen One will avenge us. And he's talking about Luke. And I don't like how they made Luke the Chosen One. I'm not really a fan of that because George always said Anakin was the Chosen One and Luke was just a catalyst. So they're changing some things up a bit, but hey, it is what it is. Trey T says, I want to see Cad Bane make a live action appearance. Yeah, that would be really cool too. I'd love to see Cad Bane. I'd love to see all these different... That's the beauty of having a Maul standalone film, is that we could get all these supporting characters that we never really got to see, on film, which would be awesome. We would see Obi-Wan, and then it could go into his arc. We could see Count Dooku, we could see Palpatine, we could see Cad Bane, we could see more of Jango, depending on the timeline, of course. Clones. Someone says, what happened to Vader versus Hulk? That project got scrapped. My animator basically just kind of sort of doing his own thing, and he didn't really have time. So, yeah, it's unfortunate, but it was looking pretty cool. Starkiller bringing down the Star Destroyer and crashing the capital ship on Kamino are my favorite moments. Yes, mine too. I really like that moment. I think him just killing the stormtroopers like how he's doing right now, was probably one of my favorite moments. Like, look at this force power, force repulsion, force explode, whatever you want to call it. To incinerate your enemies like that, like, why don't we see that on screen? We just should. If we got these kind of movements on screen, it would just make it so much more dramatic and exciting. Someone says, huge fan and hit the notification bell. Please send lightsabers. Colton Chambers. I haven't done a lightsaber giveaway in a while. There's a few reasons for that. Mainly because I'm waiting for the fan film to kind of finally officially be underway. And, once I hear back from this email from some hurdles that we're trying to jump here. Yeah. So, what's your favorite lightsaber? Favorite color is green. My favorite lightsaber is probably Vader's or Anakin's. Someone says I want to see Thrawn in live action. Deborah says, when will you release What If I Wrote The Last Jedi Part 2? I can get started on that anytime if you guys want. If you guys want me to make What If I Wrote The Last Jedi Part 2 and finally complete it, hit comment yes right now. Let me know. I know a lot of you want to see it, but it's just, it's such a, I don't want to say daunting, but it's a very, very hard video for me because I have to be like completely creative for it, and it takes a lot of mental effort for that one because I don't want to just rush it. Jesse says, currently, some other channel does the lightsaber giveaway. That's the main reason I'm not doing a lightsaber giveaway, is because it's kind of been ruined by other channels that are doing it. They basically just put one lightsaber in like 30 videos for the month, and it just takes the whole fun and specialness out of the giveaway. I was the first one to start doing these giveaways. I remember when I had 6,000 subs, I went out and I bought one, and then I shipped it physically with a handwritten note to the first winner. I remember his name was Alex Boom. That was his name. And no, that was his alias. It was Sam Blumfelder. That was his name. And yeah, I was the first one to do it, and I always noticed that you guys loved them. But then once they started just being so saturated, where it just kind of gives lightsaber giveaways a meaningless name, to be honest. Like, you have one, and then hit like to support the video and get a lightsaber, enter the lightsaber giveaway, and comment below, blah blah blah, which boosts your analytics. But it just, if you're doing that for every video and you're giving one lightsaber away, I mean, what is that, like 100,000 comments, but you're getting like a turnover rate of like 1 million upvotes for one lightsaber? Like, that just doesn't make sense to me. So what I was doing, I was giving one lightsaber away per contest, like one video for one lightsaber giveaway. And then I started doing lightsaber giveaways again, and then it was just like, well, no one really paid attention because they were just like, well, is this just gonna be dragged out for every video? It was like, no, that's not what I do. I never did that. So it just kind of ruined it. So I just don't really do them anymore because it's like, well, what's the point? Ryan Sullivan says, would you want a real lightsaber or to use the Force? Probably to use the Force. I think that would be the coolest because, weapons can always be made, I guess. Lightsabers can always be made. And if you can't use the Force properly, then you're not really that great with a lightsaber. It just doesn't work as well. Unfortunately. It's kind of like a wand for Harry Potter or something like that. Darth Bane says, wish Lucas employees would be nicer to fans. Yeah, I wish a lot of people would be nicer to a lot of people. Someone says, have you ever thought of doing videos with the Lore Master? I have done a video with the Lore Master. Back, I think, when he had more subs than I did. And he's a great guy. I love him. He's a nice guy. Always been very, very courteous, very respectful. We talk to each other a lot on Twitter, in private messages and stuff. Yeah, cool dude. The same with Star Wars HQ. Nice guys. Someone says, what if Darth Vader never cut Luke's hand? I think that would change a lot, but also not really. I mean, Luke might not have jumped down if he didn't cut off his hand, and then that would maybe, allow for Vader to talk a little bit more to Luke. So, maybe he would have persuaded him. I don't know. This is one of my favorite videos right here. The I forgot what it's called, but it's like the sons or something, the twin sons. The Ottsman says, "I want to see more outside Jedis." Oh yeah, okay. Ayla, Secure, Ki-Adi Mundi, Ahsoka, stuff like that. Thoughts? Who is your favorite side Jedi? That's a good question. I have a lot. I really want to see Ki-Adi Mundi's story. I really like Ahsoka. I think she's such a cool character. I also really want to see... I kind of want to see more of Yaddle. You know, just so we can like know a little bit more about Yoda. But also Yoda being mystical is also very fun. Prescott25 with a super chat says, "Love your videos, sub since 90,000. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. You've been around for like... The channel is almost 2 years old. Not quite. It's like a year and 10 months, I think. So... come a long way, you know, thanks to you guys, and it's always been just me here. There's no team behind Star Wars Theory, it's just me. So, yeah, thank you for supporting, thank you for enjoying the content, and I hope you will enjoy the content for many years to come. Someone says, "Okay, this is crazy, but would you do a video with how it should have ended?" Yeah, sure, if they reach out to me. Yeah. But otherwise, you know, they're doing their own thing and they're extremely successful. They're more successful than I am. They're doing a different thing, basically. They're basically, you know, doing like the how it should have ended and like animating it, which is so fun. It's so cool. But there's a lot that goes into that, and for someone who just does it by themselves, like me, it's a little harder. Maybe one day, if Star Wars Theory expands, which is the goal. Comment right now, at what number did you guys sub the channel at? Was it 100,000? Was it 1? Who was I wonder who my first subscriber was. Actually, that would be really interesting to know. Fans want to see your face. You guys will see my face in the Vader fan film web series. So, you gotta wait for that. Mace, with a super chat, says, "I looked into her eyes and I said Despacito 3. What? Okay. Aries says, "Is Mace Windu really dead?" We don't know yet. In my fan film, he's not. I don't think he is. I hope he's not. Everyone says face reveal. Something I really want to do, obviously, after the web series is out and you guys have seen my face and all that, I definitely would like to, be more personable with you guys. And that's something I think I'm looking forward to quite a bit. I think it'll be really fun. Because I got a good personality besides, you know, behind the screen when you guys, you know, you may not know and you guys will only see it kind of in these live streams, but I'm pretty down to earth, pretty personable. So I love talking to you guys, and to be able to do that on a more personal level will be fun, but all in good time, my friends. Speaking of Palpatine, my favorite scene is when in Return of the Jedi. Let's just type that in. You know, remember when he's like... go away. You remember when he's like... I forgot exactly what he says, but he's like, "I'm afraid the deflector shields will be quite operational when your friends arrive." I guess I didn't really do the voice in that one. Totally. But you guys know what I mean. He's just like trying to be so sympathetic, but he's just such a jerk the whole time. Someone says, Esteban Gonzalez says, "A Yoda story can bring in a lot of legends." It really can, because, you know, Yoda's so old, and I think we could see a lot from him. However, you never know if we will actually get it or not. I hope we do. That'd be sweet. It'd be something different. Base Marine says, "I think they could make a cool Yoda movie and yet keep him mysterious." I think so too. But they just have to. Jammy Dodger, I'm not answering that. Tyler Matthew Harris. Oh, I was just reading your comment, then it disappeared. Tyler Matthew Harris, re-comment whatever you were just saying, because I'm sorry, I was reading it, but then it just disappeared. Someone said, Dragon Slayer says, I've been a fan of yours for a while. I love your content. My question is, what did you think of Sam Witwer voicing Maul on film? I thought it was cool, but I also think it's kind of insulting to Ray Park. You know, I kind of want to see his voice. I want to see his rendition. Sam Witwer does, you know, Maul for the cartoons, you know. I want to see the Maul, you know, in real life. And in The Phantom Menace, it actually was never Ray Park's voice. It was another actor. It was a voice actor. So really, we never got to hear Ray Park's voice for Maul. However, it's something I wouldn't, you know, throw out the window. I'd like to see. I wouldn't throw down the generator shaft, if you know what I mean. Do you think the Sith will rise again? Probably not in the new canon, unfortunately. Which sucks, but what can you do? Carl says, what if Palpatine turned to the light? That's a cool fanfiction. That's a fanfiction I wanted to do a long time ago. So, yeah, maybe I'll just get on that for you guys. Tyler says, make all your videos that are critical of Disney private until you hear back from them. You know, when I am critical of a company or, you know, anyone like Disney, I'm not disrespectful. And I think that is the main thing that a lot of people forget to do, is that you can do it in such a more elegant and classy way. Believe me, there is no one... Well, I don't want to say no one, but there, you know, I have an extreme passion for Star Wars, just like a lot of you, and the things that are going on obviously upset me too. However, with this voice that I have on the channel, I don't want it to be a voice of hate. I don't want it to incite hate and anger. I want it to, you know, I want the problem to be resolved rather than to point fingers. So I think coming up with a solution is something better than just, you know, saying like, this is wrong, I hate these guys, this is what needs to happen, blah, blah, blah. Versus, you know, just being a little more, I'm Canadian, you know, I'm not as rough around the edges, I'm a little, you know, but sometimes we do need that bluntness to get the point across, because otherwise it wouldn't. So, it's good to have a mix, a blend of everything. So that's the most political answer I can basically give right there. Nova City says, what if the galaxy somehow found out Dooku and Palpatine were working together to prolong the war? I think there would probably be a lot of turmoil, and Palpatine would lose his position, most likely. Or he'd actually be favored by, you know, the Separatists, but, yeah. Obi-Wan Kenobi. I still think that Snoke is Jar Jar and Plagueis. Who thinks Plagueis is going to return? Comment yes. Someone says, how much money does each video make? Well, you know, I don't really want to make an issue of talking about money on the channel, but it totally varies, and it is not nearly as much as the internet says. That's for sure. DJ Pullum says, I wish they did an Old Republic. I wish they did an Old Republic too. That would have been really sweet. Kind of like, I know what you're thinking about. It's like this. You want to see this. This is what you want to see. Don't we all? You know? That'd be really cool. But like an Old Republic would be like, I guess, a new age, like a futuristic Republic for us, but Old Republic for, you know, the Star Wars universe. Armored Kong. Do a video of what happened to Mandalore after the Clone Wars and Battle of Yavin. Sure, I can do that. Toxic Hippo, thank you for your super chat. You didn't ask me a question, though. What if Jar Jar never went with Qui-Gon? Yeah, actually, you know what? That would probably change a lot. Someone says, why do you choose not to reveal your identity? I mean, that's perfectly fine, but is it just to create an aura of mystery? Because you've definitely achieved that. The channel's never been about me as a person. You know, I see other Star Wars channels and they like to show themselves. That's cool. Maybe that's how, you know, that they feel comfortable with that. It was never about me. It's never about what I look like or what I care about or my views on anything else other than Star Wars. You guys come here for Star Wars, I'm going to give you Star Wars. You don't need to worry about me. You don't need to, you know, it's just, it's my brain that's getting these visions and things across. The rest, if you guys cared about, which it seems like some of you want to connect more on a personal level, yeah, we can do that later on. So we'll see where the channel goes. Either way, the channel won't stop. That's for sure. Someone says, Jay says, the way most Star Wars characters have a catastrophe, would Rey's be the Force's female? Yeah, I saw that, the Force's female thing. I don't think the Force has a gender. I think the Force is just the Force. That's like saying air is female. It's like, or air is male. It's not. It's just air. Do a fan theory on why Luke didn't use sand to defeat Vader. These questions are getting funny. Is there anything before even Old Republic cavemen Jedi? Yeah, their club was a lightsaber, I guess. What if Maul taught Ezra? So let's get back on topic, guys. What do you guys want to see from a Maul movie? I mean, I'm loving these questions, and I love how flexible everything is. But for those of you who came for the topic of today's video, what do you guys think we would get in a Maul movie? I'm hoping, something that would look kind of like this. I'm hoping we would get Obi-Wan to come back. We could basically cover him. I wish I could do polls on these things, but I guess I can't. Okay, if you want to see Maul before The Phantom Menace, comment 1. If you want to see a Maul movie after The Phantom Menace but before Episode 3, comment 2. If you want to see a movie about Maul after Episode 3, where he's all broken but extremely powerful, comment 3. Let's see what we get. My friends, now is the time to vote. Prove your allegiance to the dark side of the Force. There we go. Now we got all the votes coming in. Yeah, it seems kind of tied. Like, everyone kind of wants 1 and 2. So 1 would cover basically Maul and Palpatine meeting and him training. 2 would cover Maul, broken and alone. And 3 would cover Maul kind of reborn and stronger. I think 3 would be pretty cool. I think all would be cool. They need to make a trilogy. Hey, Disney, if you're listening, make a Maul trilogy. We need to see all these. Someone says, what are we voting on? People are just commenting, which Maul era they want to see. 1 would be before Episode 1, 2 would be after Episode 2, before 3, and then 3 would be the last. Or if Maul was haunted by Qui-Gon's ghost. That would be cool. Oh man, I would love to see a Qui-Gon movie. That would be so sweet. Seeing a Qui-Gon movie is probably something that would bring fans together, like, more than anything. Because we would see everything. We would see him, like, training with Dooku. We would see Dooku with Yoda. We would see Obi-Wan, as a young Padawan. And then him meeting Anakin, possibly. There's so much potential. There's so much potential there. It is unbelievable for these standalone films. And I just hope one day we'll get them. I really, really do. IDK, I guess, I don't know. Super Chat says, there should be a headless Dooku skin for Battlefront 2. I agree with that. But finally we're getting, the characters we want from Battlefront 2, which is Anakin, Dooku, Obi-Wan, and Grievous. Which is sweet. What if Qui-Gon Jinn survived? I did that fanfiction, however, I'm going to go back and redo it because, I'm not feeling the ending that I put, The ending I put before. Like, it was all fine until the ending that I made before, which was like, it was something so out of the blue. It was like Dark Side Obi-Wan Returns or something like that. I don't know. It just wouldn't happen. If Talon was Maul's sister, yeah, that'd be cool. Someone says, will Darth Vader be vulnerable in your fan film in some point? Also, would you like to see Darth Vader without his mask and suit in future Star Wars movies? Yes, both of those will be in my fan film. So, He will be the most vulnerable that we have ever seen, like beyond vulnerable. Like he will be like you'll actually feel bad for him, if anything. He'll be like just, yeah. He'll be powerful beyond we've ever seen. He'll be weak beyond we've ever seen. You'll see him without his mask. You'll see him everything, in every single way. James 007 Hunger Zone with a super chat says, a Darth Maul theory. My uncle once told me, the horns in Maul's head are the bones of the Jedi he has killed. What do you think of this? That's a cool theory. However, the Zabrak species, which is what Maul is, they all have horns on their head. That's just how they are. Just how they're made. Favorite Sith ever? Probably Palpatine. I just think he was so brutal, and he was so brilliant. I also really like Bane. He's cool. A movie about inside the temple for Order 66, yes. Kind of like this picture here. Where is it? Oh, it's somewhere up here. Hey, what do you guys think about this photo? That's pretty cool, eh? Clone Wars Anakin. It'd be cool to see. I would like to see that. Obi-Wan in Clone Wars style, you know, clothing. It kind of looks like Jango Fett clothing almost. Armor. This one's pretty sweet too. See, like this is the kind of Obi-Wan we could get in a Maul standalone film, you know, depending on the timeline, of course. But that's definitely something that we would see. All these different versions of Obi-Wan. Now that's a world I'd like to live in. Obi-Wan, you know, before A New Hope, after Revenge of the Sith. There's a really cool statue, I think by Sideshow Collectibles, that looks like this. It's really sweet. That's probably how he made this too, just from that statue. So, what are you guys looking forward to the most going forwards with Star Wars here? I mean, we've talked about these standalone films. However, which standalone film do you want to see the most? Luke Skywalker after Return of the Jedi, before The Force Awakens, Yoda, Obi-Wan, Maul, Vader, Anakin, Qui-Gon. What do you want to see? General Grievous with a super chat says, did Yoda meet any Sith before Episode 1? Because he is old. Yes, absolutely. They weren't Sith. They were just, well, what are you talking about? Legends? Or are you talking about canon? Because if it's Legends, yes. He met some dark dudes. However, like that comic I made, I think it was 2 weeks ago or something, where Yoda, like, it's hard to say because like you think it's Yoda's first name. However, some people are saying that it's not. But it was just a completely Legends on top of Legends comic that was made, you know, back in the day, like 15 years ago. Did Yoda meet any Sith before? So if you want me to, I did a comic, a canon comic where actually before Episode 1, Yoda is with Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan, who's a Padawan at the time, and he ends up leaving them after he saves this little creature and goes to this different planet far into the galaxy that calls to him. And when he does, actually, let me try to find the video for you right now. Right here. This comic right here, basically what happens is Yoda goes to this different planet, and it's surrounded by an asteroid belt, and he travels through it, goes into there, and then he meets these weird kids who have, you know, they have these blue rocks, basically, and those rocks are basically, they're like, I don't want to say the Force, but they're like very Force sensitive. So from there, he goes, you know, meets these kids, these like vile kids, and they're like these little rebellion children. They're like throwing rocks and stuff at him, and then they chain him up. It's like a really interesting comic. I would, you know, if you guys, you know, want. I titled it Yoda's New Master Before the Phantom Menace canon. Go check it out. Then he goes into the cave and he meets this guy. Now this guy becomes his new master at the time, and it's an interesting story because it's like this young little boy who Yoda just doesn't really understand who he is, and he's like, why are you in this mountain? And he's like, well, I'm in here, I've been stuck in here for a long time. And he learns from him, he teaches him how to use the Force, and he calls him, you know, my master. And it's then we flash forward to Tatooine, where Obi-Wan is. And like we later on see this, and it's super, super cool. And I'm wondering like when they're going to tie into this. Because we see Obi-Wan here, and he's like force mind controlling people, and he's like, why don't I buy you a drink? And then this guy out of nowhere says, you have a gift. Sorry, are you talking to me? Do I know? No, you don't know me, but I can see the power in you, as it once was in me long ago. And it's this guy, the same guy that Yoda was being trained by in the cave. So it's like, who is this dude? Like, where does he come from? What is his deal? And Luke is reading this entire story from Obi-Wan's journal of what Yoda told him and all that. And then he goes there himself. And then, you know, pretty much the comic ends and he meets this dude. Actually, I don't even think I continued from here, did I? I don't know if I should probably do that. I can do that for tomorrow. If you guys want me to continue the story for tomorrow, I made this one over a year ago now. Ryan Sullivan says, still would love to audition Maul versus Anakin or Quinlan Voss. Yeah, I was supposed to announce the auditions today, but something's holding the project back a little bit, so I'm going to have to wait until I find out further what's going on. But I'm dedicated, I'm determined to bring it to you guys, so don't worry. I don't know says, what if Anakin fell in love with Palpatine? I guess he would have turned to the dark side a lot sooner then. Bailey Carter, thank you for your super chat. Thoughts on upcoming animated series? Love your vids. You mean the, what is it, the Resistance Fighters or something like that? Like the animated one? Yeah, I don't really care for it. But it's supposed to take place after Return of the Jedi, before The Force Awakens. So if it covers Luke, I'm in. Otherwise, if it's just about like new fighter pilots and stuff, yeah, I just don't really care. Howlers, thank you for your super chat. Don't you think the guy who... What? Yeah, he was. Have you guys seen this video? If you have, type yes. No offense, Star Wars Theory, but that comic story sucks. Well, I don't know, I thought it was cool. You know, I'm trying to cover basically anything canon here. Especially things about Yoda. But yeah, it is kind of weird. Like, the fact that Yoda meets this boy in a cave or a mountain or whatever, and he's, like, being taught. It's just a little strange. You'd think that he would have learned this stuff by then. But... Hey, don't shoot the messenger, man. Come on. I'm just covering the content. Can you do what if Luke joined Vader on... Oh, your comment disappeared. Let me scroll up here. On Dezowin, after he says, I am your father. On Bespin, after he says, I am your father. Yeah, I could do that. That would be cool for sure. Someone says, I'd like to see a Grievous movie too. Yeah, see, that's another standalone movie that I want to see. That's another episode that I could make. Is that we have all these great characters, and I just hope Disney capitalizes on them. You know? Someone says, I want more info on the new Sith that Disney added in canon. Darth Atreus, I think. Yeah, that would be cool. They're adding a lot of new characters. So, I mean, you know. Alright, do you guys miss the graphic novel giveaways? Did you guys like those at all? I think I gave away like 20 or something like that. Someone says they need to hand the reins over to Hidalgo. Yeah, they need to do something a little different, I think. If you weren't called Star Wars Theory, what would you have called your channel? Star Wars Theory, because they're all theories. Darth Vader standalone. Yes, that's definitely what we need. We definitely need a Palpatine standalone, too. That's something that I think we should get. Palpatine meets Snoke, and Palpatine gives him a ring. Yeah, so that ring is from Vader's castle. So if you guys remember... Vader's castle is on Mustafar. And Snoke's ring is from the catacombs below Vader's castle. So it's like in these little crypts. And I'm hoping that we get to find out more about Snoke. And how he got this ring, or when he got it. You know, was it before Vader's castle? You know, since it was built, since he got it from underneath, or was it after? Is there something special about this ring? The obsidian. What if Mace never died and made... Yeah. So the chat's starting to slow down. I'm thinking you guys don't have much else to say here. I think we got all the points across here from what we want for a Maul standalone film. If there's anything else you guys want to know or talk about, comment right now. Otherwise, yeah, I'll put this one to an end and then get started on tomorrow's video for you all. And maybe get a new amp, because today's video was... I don't know what the deal was with that. It's like a lot of people were saying they could only hear me in the left speaker. That sucks. Howler says, when is that free V-Buck giveaway? Free $5 giveaway? What do you mean? There was never... I don't know what you're talking about. Elaborate, my friend. You can message me on Instagram. I don't want to take your money because I didn't understand your question. Someone says, I need to see Maul get into a vicious battle. Yes, that would be really sweet. Something like this, basically. Maul, the return of the Sith Lord, my friends. The dark side of the Force gave him spider legs. The Sheriff 34 says, do you think they could make a film based off the Force Unleashed games, even though it's no longer canon? Yes, I think they could make anything they want. However, will they? I don't know. I hope they do. That'd be sweet. That'd be good to see. You know, give us what we want. Give us what we want, and we'll give you our money. It's pretty much it. Revan says, I have a Vader video for you to look at. Sure, send me a message on Instagram or email me at StarWarsTheory66@gmail.com. Someone says, when is the next live stream? When do you guys want live streams? Do you guys want to have like one, actual video a day and then a live stream after? Or do you want to have maybe like 3 live streams a week? What days and times are the best for you? Let me know right now for live streams. King Lord Commander says, can I have a shout out please, Theory? Where do you get these voices from? These voices come from me, my friend. I don't know. I just always liked doing voices as a kid, so I guess it turned out okay. Can you please do a Starkiller fan film next, please? What about Marka Ragnos or Tulak Horde movie? Well, let's get this fan film going first. And then we can worry about the next ones, hopefully. If you were hired by Lucasfilms to make a new trilogy, what would it be about? It would be about something that we really want to see. That's for sure. So I would definitely talk to you guys first and do a poll and see what you guys want first, and then go ahead with the multi-million-dollar project instead of just making something that I think would The thing is that I'm a real hardcore Star Wars fan, so it's like I think I attribute a big part of the success to the channel in this short time that I've done it is because I kind of know what the fans want because I am a fan. So it's like, I am you. That's kind of how it works. Someone says your Emperor voice is on point. Thank you, my friend. See, you got sometimes it like you can't. I can't do it well. Sometimes I can. Sloth Gaming says, I want you to get your opinion on if Kennedy should leave, and they should make an Exar Kun movie since he is now canon. An Exar Kun movie would be cool. They got to make a lot of movies that they made about the characters where they made canon now. I just hope they capitalize on it. As for Kennedy leaving, I don't know anything about her. I don't know if she's the one that's actually making these executive decisions. Which, if she is, then we need to definitely... I don't know if she needs to leave, but she needs to understand that this is not what fans want. You need to be, when you're running a big company like this, you need to be extremely flexible. And you need to know what your clientele wants. And clearly, we don't want Luke to die. We don't want Luke to be portrayed the way he was. So, it's not just a little minority. Howlers, with his super chat, says, when can we get that Fortnite Star Wars crossover? I don't know. You know what? I've never actually played Fortnite. Yeah, I don't know. It looks fun though. Andrew Wilson Vlog says, you said that Disney isn't giving us the stuff fans want in the side films. Do you think they're just saving the better stuff for later? It's possible, but is that something they want to do? Because they're going to risk losing a lot of us. You know, when The Force Awakens came out, our love for Star Wars was even more, you know, for most of us. But now it's in the worst shape it's ever been in. You know, even more than the division of the prequels, which I love the prequels. I thought they were great. Sure, there were some slow parts, but that's every movie. Someone says, I like you so much more now. Why? What did I say? But thanks, I'm glad you like me. Admiral Thrawn trilogy would be cool. Yeah, fan film, live action, or anime. It'll be live action. Where have you been, man? I've been saying it's live action for decades now. Star Wars Hub, notice me. Hey, bro, what's going on? I think it would be cool if there was, Anakin Skywalker says, I think it would be cool if there was a Darth Plagueis standalone movie, because then we would get to understand how the Sith view things instead of... Yeah, I think a Darth Plagueis movie would be really sweet to see as well, because then we would get to see Palpatine, and that's just something I always really wanted to see, because we just didn't see Palpatine, you know, as a younger, kind of like a X-Men Origins kind of thing, but like a Star Wars Origins. I think that's what they need to do. This whole Marvel thing that they're trying to do, like with the standalone films, like give each one like Thor, Iron Man, it'll work, but they got to do it with characters we really care about. Like Marvel started off with Iron Man, which is a huge character. You got to start it off right. You got to start it off with like Obi-Wan Kenobi. You got to start it off with like Maul. Don't build it up. We already know who these characters are. We love them. We want to see them. Don't tease us. The fans will eventually get upset, and that's exactly what's happening. That said, Solo was a great movie. I loved it. You know, there's that meme out there where people are like interested. They were so excited going into The Last Jedi, and how they came out of the film was, like the meme shows a neutral face of Anakin, an excited face of Anakin going in, a neutral face coming out, and then the reverse is Solo. You don't expect much, but you come out, loving the movie. Luke Deary says, do a theory if the Falcon crew did a crossover with the Guardians of the Galaxy. That would be really sweet. That would be very cool. However, we would need to get some things on the same playing field there, because Guardians of the Galaxy, they have, they're kind of like superheroes almost, but the crew, the Falcon, they're like just mortals. So we would need to get, some Jedi or something in there, some aliens. Lucasfilm needs to be involved in the writing. That would solve a lot of problems. Yeah, I think they're very brilliant at Lucasfilm. I mean, look what they've given us. Everything. This whole thing is because of Lucasfilm. Can you do a fanfic of what if Maul took Anakin on as apprentice? YouTube's only savior. Okay, you guys, link my what if Darth Maul trained Anakin video. Like, I don't know where this guy has been, but just link it to him, because that was probably one of the first fan fictions I ever made, man. That was like, that one takes me back. I remember I didn't really have that many subs, and I'm like, you know what, screw it. I'm just going to do like the most far-fetched fan fiction, because I got nothing to lose. And then it's like when you gain more subs, you kind of just become a little bit more selective of how far you go with your stories, because it's like, ooh, like I got a lot of subs to lose now. But obviously at this point for me, it's like I'm always still going to be pushing the limits, and that's what I'm trying to do. As you can see with this Vader fan film, I'm pushing the limits with it. I'm trying to do things that no one else has ever done, and that's pretty much been my motto with the channel since day one. In The Revenge of the Sith, do you think the line, my alliance is with the Republic, with democracy, is changed in Russia? Yeah, maybe. Someone says, I love that fanfic. Yeah, that was good. Ben Swallow says, where are we dropping, boys? I don't know, where are we dropping? What's your favorite EU novel? Jonathan Ruiz asks. Probably The Rise of Darth Vader is my favorite. That one is just very cool. I love how he goes back to the Jedi Temple. That's something I would love to see on screen. What is your favorite lightsaber form and why? Probably Form 5 or Form 7. Form 7 extremely acrobatic. Form 5 is pretty, like, you got some powerful strikes. So maybe like a cross between 5 and 7. Because with 7, it's like very aggressive as well. So maybe like an Anakin Form 5, which would be sweet. Who's your favorite Sith? Palpatine. Is Jar Jar Binks Sith Lord? Yes. Yes. What is the title of Episode 9? I don't know yet. We won't know yet. But apparently the working title is Trixie. And the IX is, you know, an IX, capital. Say meme review in Darth Sidious voice, please, Mr. Theory. Meme review. It's time, my friends, to cover the Star Wars memes of the internet. Input your... What is it? Put it in the Reddit sub box. What does PewDiePie say? Something like that. Drop your comments in the Reddit sub box, my friends, and together we will analyze these memes. Is Vader's actor 6'6"? They definitely gave him some stilts, but he's a tall guy for sure. Not stilts, but some lifts in his shoes, his boots. Theories for Star Wars Resistance? I don't know, man. I'm just not really interested in Star Wars Resistance. Let's be honest here. I just don't really care. Colton Chambers, please notice me. I have noticed you, my friend. Read my super chat. Mihaly, hi. Where's your super chat? Oh, sorry, man. Are there any Jedi Masters with double lightsabers? Not that we know of in canon. However, in the Star Wars, the fan film that I'm making, I got a few Jedi Masters where I am... If I go to it... I haven't released the new image yet, but... Where is it? Yeah, so that's actually... So, this Jedi right here, he's got 2 lightsabers, and I voted for all these guys. I wanted them made basically to a T. So this guy is like, he's one of my favorites because he's kind of like a Star Killer knockoff almost. He's got a green and a blue lightsaber. This is a Wookiee Jedi, and he's got like the coolest lightsaber that we came up with. It's this axe lightsaber, and it is like, oh my god, it's gonna be so sick on screen. Anyways, that's, you know, a ways away, I guess. We'll see what happens with that. Unfortunately, got some hurdles to jump over, but just like any project, you know, it's a lot of things you got to do, and hopefully it'll happen. I'm hopeful. Okay, let's read some super chats here. James007 Hunger Zone says, do you think Kylo Ren will visit Mustafar Vader's castle in Episode 9? Kind of like my fan fiction? Yes, I hope he does, and I think he will. I think that's what we want to see, and you know, the directors and writers know that. The Mr. Pete channel says, Star Wars Theory, how goes your movie? I need it in Saga, brother. I need it Saga, bro. Yeah, it's going well. However, I was ready to launch the new GoFundMe today. However, GoFundMe removed tiers, so we're gonna have to find a new funding thing. So maybe again Kickstarter, but with like a super low tier, just so that we hit the goal. And also there's a issue with the fan film. Waiting to hear back from an email from some important people, if you know what I'm saying. Howlers says, can we get a video on Star Wars communism? Sure, if you want. The Retro Gamer, do you think it's possible for a Darth Bane movie since he's canon? Also, Star Wars versus Star Trek, who would win? Star Wars versus Star Trek, I don't know who would win. Obviously I'm biased, so I'm going to say Star Wars. You know, Vader would just force choke kind of everybody. However, the technology in Star Trek seems to be a little bit more advanced. Do you think it's possible for a Darth Bane movie? Yes, I do think it's possible. It's something I definitely want to see. Tony Branco says, Darth, Revan, and Malak versus Revenge of the Sith, Kenobi, and Anakin. Who do you see winning? Been debating it with a few friends and would like your input. That's a good one. Which Anakin? End of Revenge of the Sith, so Dark Side Anakin? That's kind of like Majin Buu Vegeta, you know? was like unlocked. It was like unleashed power. I'm thinking probably... That's actually a really good one. That's a tough question. Who do you guys think would win? Let's help Tony out. Darth Revan and Malak versus Revenge of the Sith, Kenobi, and Anakin. Comment 1 if you think Darth Revan and Malak. Comment 2 if you think Kenobi and Anakin. I'm going to put my money on Kenobi and Anakin. Final answer. Brandon says, can a Jawa be a Jedi or Sith? Love your vids. A Jawa... You know, I was actually... The director of my fan film wants to put a Jawa as a Jedi, and I kind of laughed and I said no, but I mean, if you guys want, I could put a Jawa as a Jedi. I just think that would be so funny, though. He would just get, like, destroyed in 2 seconds. Or maybe he'd be really powerful. You never know. Ooh, look at those answers now. Okay, so I see a lot of 1s and 2s. Seems to be divided there. Someone says, Lucas says, do you think there should be a Yoda movie? Yes, there should be a Yoda movie. There should be all the movies. Every single movie that we want to see, they should make it. What if Darkside Anakin took death sticks after killing younglings? I'm going to start reading your questions in Palpatine's voice or in different voices. I don't know, he'd probably start slashing the wall and the younglings would be like, what are you doing? You're hallucinating. But hey, that's just a theory. A Star Wars theory. Thanks, Mad Brum. Is it animated? No, the fan film is not animated. It will be, obviously, Legends. It's not canon. And it will be live action. What do you think of the final Obi-Wan and Maul fight? I thought it was really poetic. I thought it was really beautiful. It was nice. Tanner says, I would be that Jedi. That Jawa. Okay, guys, I think kind of got everything across here that we needed to. We've really diverged here on the topic of the video, but I still had a lot of fun. If you guys have any other questions, let me know right now. Otherwise, yeah, I'm just close the vid, and then I will see you all in tomorrow's video. If you want me to cover that comic, I can still do that. But yeah, it seems like no one else really has any more questions going on about the topic of the video. Someone says, do you think Lando is coming back in Episode 9? Probably not. And if Kylo Ren is a Sith, why doesn't he have yellow eyes? Because I don't think he's a pure Sith. I don't even think he is a Sith. He's just he's a confused boy. Alrighty, guys. I'm going to cut this one. I thank you all for joining me. Thank you all for the super chats. Thank you all for the likes. If you're still here, hit like on the video. Support the channel. Help it, circulate the internet. And I will see you all in the next episode of Star Wars Theory. Until then, my fellow Jedi and Sith friends, say it with me. The Force will be with you. Always.